Hello, Jessica Amir here for the Finance News Network with First Graphene Non-Executive Chairman Warwick Grigor. Warwick, welcome to the network.
Thank you, Jessica.
So first up, you operate a graphene processing facility in WA, but for new investors who don't know about the company, just give us a quick introduction.
We started out as a graphite company known as First Graphite, but when we changed our focus to technology, developing of IP and graphene, we thought it was appropriate to change the name to First Graphene. Vertically integrated, we produce our graphene from our own raw material from Sri Lanka, 97% grade graphite. We turn it into graphene, we finish it, and we prepare it for sales into industry. Market capitalisation is currently about 75 million, having grown from less than 10 million a couple of years ago.
So tell us about the work that you're doing in adding graphene to concrete.
Well, we're finding that adding less than 1% graphene to concrete can double its strength, it can reduce its porosity. It basically makes concrete much better and much more useful at very little additional cost.
And can you tell us what you're doing in the flame retardant coating space?
Well, we have developed a fire retardant that we call Fire Stop, because it doesn't just retard, it stops it. It stops it more effectively than existing fire retardants. We can produce it at 1/4 of the cost. It's non-toxic. And once we get through getting government approvals, I'm quite sure it'll be the fire retardant of the future. It's a no-brainer. It's so good.
And what are you doing in the battery technology space?
We're developing a supercapacitor. A supercapacitor is based on physical storage rather than chemical storage of energy. It means that you don't need lithium, you don't need cobalt, you don't need potentially dangerous metals. It's all about plugging in the supercapacitor to a power source, rapidly charges in 10 or 15 seconds instead of 1 hour or 2 hours, and it's the future. It will mean your mobile phone will last not 1,000 cycles, but 10, 20, 30,000 cycles. Your mobile phone is going to be thrown out because it's old technology before your battery runs out.
Now, can you tell us about your graphene processing facility south of Fremantle?
At Henderson, we have commissioned a 100 tonne per annum production facility. If that was operating, we could be earning in the order of $10 million EBITDA. At the moment, we're all sitting at the starting gate. We've got the production ready to go. Now we're working on building our sales book, which will build up over the next year or two. It's a process of working with industry, teaching them how to use graphene, and going from initial sampling and testing into evergreen sales contracts. One of our major competitive advantages is having 97% grade graphite from Sri Lanka. It's the only country in the world where you can find or mine that product. There's actually a shortage of it. So what we've done is we are both buying from the government mine and we've developed our own mines to give us a diversity of supply. Grade is king, 97% grade. Direct shipping also, we need no above ground processing plant. We just mine it, bag it and ship it down to Fremantle. Gives us a tremendous cost advantage over any other source of graphite.
Now to a big picture, just tell us about your strategy and how that's progressing, Warwick.
If you're producing a commodity, be it graphite or graphene, they can be commoditised. Look at what's happening with China. Manufacturing is commoditised. The real asset class that we want to be building, licenses, patents, industrial, intellectual property, by building a portfolio of those through doing the development science and patenting processes of applying graphene into different materials. It doesn't matter whether they're using our graphene or someone else's graphene. If they're using graphene from any source, using our licenses, we will have a growth curve that will just keep growing. It's not a cyclical business. Over the next 10 and 20 years, the more graphene penetrates into industry, which I think is a given, the growth curve will just keep growing. And we won't be constrained by a physical size of production of either graphite or graphene. It's all about developing the IP, selling licenses and collecting royalties. That gives us maximum leverage for the amount of capital that we've invested, and it's the best way to look after our shareholders.
And lastly, Warwick, why would an investor be adding FGR to their portfolio?
If you're going to get involved in graphene, you should be getting involved in the company which offers greatest opportunities at lowest risk. Because we've got production facilities now, because we're the lowest cost, we offer great opportunity and optionality. Anyone else in the business is not as advanced as us. They don't offer as an exciting risk-reward profile. We're at the starting gate now. Graphene is the material of the future. First Graphene has a corporate objective and an ability to be the leading company in that revolution. That's what we're all about. That's what we offer shareholders.
Very compelling. Warwick Grigor, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica.